Hi there and welcome to another video brought to you by the good people at FM Wonderkids. Today, by popular demand, we're going to be doing a review of our current Leeds team. Here at FM Wonderkids, we make videos for you, so please get your requests in on the comments box for videos that you want to see. So we are 3 seasons in with our Leeds team. We've managed to finish 6th in the Premier League, which is a great achievement for Leeds. Fantastic, well done, boys. So to start off, we're going to go back into the history of our club and see how we developed our team. So if I go back to the fixtures of 2015-2016, you guys will get an idea of how we started the game. Pre-season went really well, and then we took that form straight into the championship here. If we do a quick count, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games unbeaten with Leeds United. Absolutely fantastic start to the season. Put us right up the top of the league, and we stayed there for the majority of the season. We didn't have a lot of movement in the transfer market, so we used the players we had at our disposal, although we did make a couple of key loan signings. We look here before January, chief of which was Gary Hooper. Did absolutely fantastic for us in the first season. We have a look at his history here. He played 33 games and scored 25 goals. Absolutely crucial for us, Gary Hooper was. We had him in on loan, spent £400,000 on it. We did have an option to buy him at the end of the loan period, but we chose not to enact that clause. Somewhat regrettably, we have had trouble up front since Gary Hooper left the squad, but hopefully now, 3 seasons in, I think that's a problem which we have managed to resolve. The second key loan signing we made was Emmanuel Mamana. We bought him in on loan from River Plate, again with an option to buy him. Unfortunately, he was not willing to join the club even after we got promoted, but he performed really well for us in that season. You can see he played 42 games and had an average rating of 7.16, scoring 3 goals for us as well. After January, we were top of the league by some way. What happened in January was absolutely crucial for our club. We had a takeover. The old oppressive chairman was out, and in were a new set of directors. They gave us money to invest in the club, which was absolutely fantastic, and we bought some players in which we needed, chief of which was Michael Caine. Let me tell you, we spent 13.5 million on this bad boy, and he has repaid every penny of it so far. He's got average ratings of above 7, and he's played a lot of games. He's currently our club captain, and you can see he's developed quite well. He's playing for England regularly. Well, he's had 3 caps, but he's into that England team, and he's done fantastic for us. We bought in Patrick Roberts, who didn't work out for us. He's since left to Chelsea. They paid £15 million for him. We made a bit of money. When I first bought him, I didn't realise his determination was so low, so I was quite glad to get rid of that little chap, although he has got a good potential and he is a very good technical player. A brief note on players we let go. We let go a lot of the older players and a lot of the players who had value, who we weren't necessarily going to get into our first team. So we made 3.4 million there by selling those players. So if we have a look post-January, again, we did very well. We scored a lot of goals. We won a lot of games. We'll have a quick look here, pick a result out of the hat, and I'll show you, give you an idea of the formation we were using. So we were playing Gary Hooper up front, banging the goals in. I was playing Alex Mowat more often than not, central attacking midfield, although it wasn't his natural position, and he still hasn't been able to gain that competency in that position. He did do quite well nonetheless, and he has developed pretty well. Not as well as I thought he would, and not as well as I hoped he would, but he's someone I'm going to keep hold of. He's a homegrown player, and he, like I say, he did do well for us in that first season, as you can see there. Stuart Dallas Again, another player who did absolutely fantastic for us in the first season, play right wing or left wing. Unfortunately, we decided to let him go at the end of the first season, somewhat regrettably. He did have a fantastic season for us, played 45 games, scored 12 goals and 15 assists, 7.25 average rating. He is someone who I would still like to have in my team as backup for a right wing. Unfortunately, we let him go for 2.5 million. We were looking to develop and move the club forward. Luke Murphy, again, someone who suffered the same fate as Dallas. Very good player, performed very well for us. But like I say, we were looking to invest in youth. We were looking to move these players on, and that is what we did. You can see here Charlie Taylor, Sam Byram, still to this day my right back and my left back, still performing well for Leeds in the Premier Division. Lewis Cook isn't in this team for some reason. Maybe he was injured, maybe he needed a rest, but he did play the majority of games for us in this position or this position here. Fantastic. So if we have a look at our final position in the Championship in that season, if we just go through this rigmarole, we can find out that we were promoted as champions. Hooray! 96 points. Absolutely fantastic goal difference. We did really well. Moving up then into the Premier League was a bit of an eye-opener. We did pre-season very well, but then we jumped into losing and drawing a few games, winning a few games. We lost 7-4 to West Brom there. What a cataclysmic result. We were leaking goals, but we were also scoring goals at the same time. We'll have a quick look at the transfers we bought in then to cope with the Premier League. And here they are. Shane and Ellie we bought in on loan. Absolutely fantastic player. Go out and buy him. We bought him in on loan. We had an option to buy for 7.5 million. We bought him for 7.5 million and he's come to our club and he's done absolutely fantastic. He's developing into one of the best right wingers in the world. Go out and buy him. He is fantastic. Incidentally, 2 weeks into the future here, I've actually played the game. Shane Ali has gone to the World Cup and he has scored a goal in the final, winning the World Cup for Holland. That's how much of a class player this guy is. You can see a loan there, and we bought him for 7.5 million there. Get people in on loan, get a buy-in clause as well from. You never know, you might want to purchase them if they do really well. Wellington Silva, again, really young, really technical, someone we bought in to play inside left, dribbling powerhouse, very fast. Unfortunately, not developed enough for us to enact a buy-in clause that we did have on him. Ravel Morrison, a player we've had trouble with. He has got technical ability, he's got flair and he's got pace, but he is a little bit of a rotten apple in the dressing room. We got him in on loan, he went back to Lazio, and then we purchased him later on, as you will see. But we are probably looking to get rid of him, as like I said, he is a bit of a disruptive influence in the dressing room. Balanta, player we got in straight away. We needed a partner for Michael Caine at the centre of the back, at centre back rather, and this guy fitted the bill. A replacement from Amana, and he's developed really well, and he's performing really well for us as well. Crucially, good average ratings. Cost us 9.75 million. Definitely great value for money there. Begovic, absolutely fantastic. We found this guy on the transfer list straight away. First season in the Premier League, bang, made an offer, got accepted. He wanted to come to us, and he's been doing quite well despite our defensive lapses. So that's what the transfer market looked like in the first season. January then, bought this guy on a free. We thought he'd develop into a good player. I suppose he's developed into a decent player, but he's not really going to stay at the club with those stats. Romero, striking problems. I don't know if I mentioned we have had striking problems with Leeds. This guy, we purchased him at the very start of the game. Unfortunately, he was unable to join until the next season. So we were in a position where we spent the majority of our transfer budget at the very start of the game on a player who wasn't available to us. Then, starting the Premier League this season, we had Gary Hooper. We didn't choose to buy Gary Hooper because we knew we had this guy coming in. He's young, that's his problem. He isn't consistent enough. He has done quite well. He's scored, his goals to game ratio is quite good, but he has the odd stinker. So I'll go into the striking problems a bit further when we go into next season. Scott Sinclair, great little player. Play him inside left. He can finish, he can dribble, and he's fast. get him in. We bought him for 925,000, and he's absolutely great little player. He's probably not going to feature so much going forward for us, but he's great to have on the bench because of that finishing ability that he's got. Ivanovic, again, great player. We found him on the transfer list. Very good defensively and mentally, dropping off a bit physically now, and he has recently set his retirement date for the end of the current season. So we'll go back to the schedule. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of poor results, but we stayed up. That was the main thing. It was a learning curve. We had a very, very, very young team. If we have a look here, I think I've already shown you one fixture, but I'll show you this fixture here against Aston Villa, where we did actually manage to win 4-3. Very good spectacle for the fans, but it'll give you an idea of the age of our teams. We had Ramiro, who must have been 19, Ravel Morrison was about 23, Nanelli was about 19, Cook was about 20, these two boys here are probably about 21, this guy's about 20, okay, Ivanovic was a bit older, but it gives you an idea of how young our team was. So, for example here, if we have a look at the Man City game where we managed to win 3-2, which is a fantastic result for us, away. They may have had a man sent off, but we'll just ignore that. You can see we had Jamie Wood, who's our regen striker up front. He's got fantastic potential ability, but not really quite there yet. He's only 17 years old, but he's like a little Ollie Solskjaer. We stick him on at the end of games and he gets goals. We had Patrick Roberts. The age on this team, 17, about 18, about 18, about 18, 20, probably 22. These guys probably 22 each. Very young team indeed. So that I think was one of the reasons for our inconsistencies. But it was a good investment. We've invested in these youngsters, and they have started to develop. If we have a look here at the tail end of the Premier League season, we did really well. We won a lot of games, conceded a lot of goals, but we scored a lot of goals as well. So we've invested in youth, and it is paying off. If we look at the next season, a lot of greens there. Oh, sorry, that's the first season. Thought it was too good to be true. So we had a good pre-season, lost the first game, but then we won a couple, lost a couple, won a couple more. Again, we were losing to big boys away from home. We started to try and tighten up at the back, playing away from home, but we still couldn't manage to win a lot of those games against the big teams. But you can see here, we went on a few good runs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games unbeaten. And if I click on this Swansea game here, it'll give us an idea of team we were using. So we brought this guy in, Lanzini, to play attacking midfield. We had extensive scouting missions looking for someone who wanted to come to our club, really, who could play this position. This guy was the best we could find. He is developing into a good player. He still hasn't been capped for Argentina, but I think he'll get that cap. He's done quite well for us. He hasn't scored enough goals, though, really, to be playing in that position. But his average rating is good, and he does get quite a few assists. Other than that, Phil Jones we bought in, found him on the transfer list. He cost us a lot of money, but he has got great leadership, which is something I need in my team. He's going to develop, and in 2 seasons' time, I believe he will be the club captain. We're playing him in the ball-winning midfielder role at the moment. Other than that, we had quite a good season. So this is the season where we finished 6th in the Premier League. We're now into Europe. We're going to look and push on. We're going to look at pushing on from there, trying to get into the Champions League, trying to establish Leeds as a top 4 club. If we have another look at the transfer history here and we go to final current season, give an idea of some of the money we've actually spent. We spent 75 million in here, and we only had an inlay of 1.75 billion. So that gives you an idea of the backing we've had from the board. The board have been absolutely fantastic since the takeover in January of the first season. So mentioned this guy here, Lewis Schwab, who we bought in for the same position to kind of challenge for that attacking midfield role. He is developing slightly, but unfortunately we haven't been giving him enough games. We should be rotating him a little bit more with Lanzini, I think. So we're just looking at something we're going to look at doing. Jesse, someone we bought in to try and score goals for us, but again, he just added to our striking problems. He didn't do it. You can see he's got some of the stats for the role, but if we have a look at his history, he just didn't perform for us. He played 19 games, but he only scored 4 goals with an average rating of 6.77, so that just added to our striking problem. Ravel Morrison, we've spoken about. We bought him in, because he did do a good job for us the season before on loan. 7.5 average rating, but he started disrupting the dressing room and he's got to go. We brought this guy in right back. He's got great potential, but I didn't want to play him above Sam Byram because I wanted to develop Sam Byram as a good right back. He is developing well. Elkerson, so we brought this guy in to soothe our striking woes. He's got great finishing, he's got great acceleration, good strength, off the ball, decisions and determination. Crucially, his average rating for his previous club was absolutely fantastic, and his goals per game ratio was brilliant, as it is so far with our club. I'm hoping Elkerson could go on to great things for club and country. He's yet to be capped for Brazil, but hopefully if he keeps scoring goals for us and keeps performing like he is in Europe as well as in the Premier League, he can be a fantastic player for us. Right then, next steps. Next steps for Leeds are, let's have a look at the squad depth here. Where are we going to invest for the upcoming season? We're going to be looking at, like I say, developing this club, making it into a top 4 team, establishing it into a powerful Premier League team, taking on the Man Cities and the Manchester Uniteds and the Chelseas of this world and beating them at their own game. I'm reluctant rather to replace my 2 fullbacks. They're homegrown boys and they've got talent. We'll have another look at them here. They can tackle, they've got the stamina, they can do the job. I don't want to replace them because, like I say, they are homegrown talent and they're decent. Centre backs, Michael Keane, club captain. I'm going to keep him for another year at least. He is solid, but like I say, Phil Jones is going to overtake him as club captain. Maybe I'll look at replacing him and moving him on. Balanta is a great centre back. He's going to stay and he's going to perform well. Trust me about that. Centre midfield, we're playing Lewis Cook alongside. Who are we playing him alongside? Phil Jones, obviously, who isn't on this list, unfortunately, but Phil Jones is obviously very solid in the middle of the park. Lewis Cook, developing fantastically. Go out and buy yourself this player at the start of the game. He develops really well. I have been playing him every single game, so that helps. But his average ratings are great, and he's a young English player, recently been capped, 6 caps for his country already, going to the World Cup now with England. Yeah, great little player. Definitely get your hands on him if you can. I want to invest in my inside forward attacking midfield left position at the moment. Scott Sinclair's first choice there. Like I said, I love this player. He can finish and he can dribble and he's cheap as chips and he's English and he's relatively young. But stepping up into Europe, we need a better alternative. So that's where we're going to look at investing mainly, as well as just growing the squad a bit, because the number of games we're going to have to play now is going to be greater and we need that cushion. We need strength and depth. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. This has been the Leeds team. Like, subscribe. I'll bring you the next season review and hopefully we'll be up here in the top echelons of the Premier League. Thanks very much for watching and goodbye.